Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of my favorite highlighters. I'm so excited for this video because you guys know how much I love my glow. All of these are my absolute favorites, my tried and true. I have a lot here. I do have a lot, but they're all really great. I have different finishes for everyone's tastes. I have creams, liquids, and powders. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. So I'm first gonna start off with the creams because I feel like that's what really ignited my love for highlighters. And I'm gonna start with the one that really started it all, and that is the Marc Jacobs Spotlight Glow Stick. And this is what it looks like. Everyone thinks it's always like a little deodorant stick, which I don't blame them. Like, that's exactly what it looks like. But this is the first highlighter that really made me fall in love with them. This one I feel like is really great for if I'm really tanned or if I'm really pale. It's just kind of like it has like a see-through base, just makes you look very glossy, and it doesn't have any glitter in it. It has some pearls in there, and they're a very light gold. It does build up beautifully, or if you just wear it very sheer, it just looks very natural. And I really love how it applies with the finger, a brush, or a sponge. It works with everything, and I love how it doesn't break up my makeup or feel sticky or glossy, but it does have that really glossy sheen, and it never picks up any of my foundation or move anything around. It's just a very solid and reliable highlighter. I've had this for so long, I probably should repurchase one, but it's still fine, still smells the same, still works the same, and it's still going strong. I feel like you get so much product in here. It doesn't say, but I've had this for a really long time, and I'm still powering through it. That's my first one. Next is the Nude Sticks Hey Honey. This one is so beautiful. This is my go-to for when I want a really glossy sheen, or if I'm doing my no foundation days. This one just applies so easily with just a finger. It just immediately melts into your skin and just gives you a really nice, healthy, warm glow, which I absolutely love. You guys know how much I love this one. I use it so much. I think the formula is really stunning, and if you love that glossy sheen, I think you would love this. It does feel slightly tacky or slightly emollient when it's on the cheeks. It's not to the point where your hair sticks to it or you feel uncomfortable or aware of it on your skin, if that makes sense. I love this one. It has a really stunning pearlescence to it, and this is great, and I hope that they come out with a lot more shades as well. I know this one has a little bit of an undercast if you're a little bit paler than me. Everyone needs to experience the magic that is the Nudies Glows. I know they just recently came out with a new shade. I think it's a little bit of a deeper shade, but I'd like to see a huge range because these are amazing. Next, for another stick highlight, this is the Guerlain Terracotta Gold Highlighting Stick. This is just so beautiful. It reminds me of Hawaii because it smells like plumeria flowers, and it just like brings me back. I feel like scents just impact my memory so much. Whenever I have a scent, I just like time travel for that exact moment, and this just really brings me back. I just love that because I always feel the most peaceful when I'm in Hawaii. But anyways, this is just such a stunning formula. They do have a few shades in these as well. This one's just the gold one. This one would be good for light to medium skin tones. It does have a little bit of an undercast for me right now because I'm at my palest, but when I'm in the summer or a little bit tanner, this is perfect. The thing I love most about this highlighter is that it goes on like a cream, it performs like a cream, but then it kind of dries down into a powder, but it does not enhance any texture or anything. It just gives you such a bright glow, and it's just so stunning. And it has a very long wearing finish, which I love because it does turn kind of into like a powdery texture. I love this one so much, and I'm kind of interested in picking up a different shade as well, just so I can wear one all year round because it's just that beautiful. I miss wearing this. For my last cream one, this one's kind of newer to me, and this is the one I'm wearing today. And this is the RMS Magic Luminizer. They have I think they have 6 shades in these, which is really nice and inclusive. This one I think is their brightest one that they offer. I love this one because it performs beautifully with a finger, a brush, or a sponge. I used the sponge today, and I really like that effect. I feel like it was really quick and easy. Depending on the intensity level that you would like, it can get you there. And the formula is just really nice. It kind of reminds me of the Marc Jacobs one, so I immediately love it. But also it's considered clean beauty. If that's a priority for you, this is a great option. It's super stunning, and I love the finish. It doesn't feel tacky whatsoever. It just kind of blends into your foundation beautifully, and it doesn't pick up anything, and it doesn't have any glitter in it whatsoever. None of the ones I'm going to be talking about have glitter in them because that's my number one no-no for highlighters. It just makes you look really hydrated and soft, and I just I love it. Now I'm going to move into the liquid highlighters. So the first one I want to talk about is the Anastasia Liquid Glow in the shade Perla. This is just absolutely stunning. I reach for this one when I want to do more of like a glass skin effect to my skin because it is so buildable and the reflect is insane. Here I'm gonna do a softer swatch and like a thicker swatch so you can see what I'm talking about. So here I did like a thin swatch. So for an everyday basis, this is a perfect one. It's just like a beautiful pearlescence that makes you look so radiant and beautiful. And this was the first liquid highlighter that made me fall in love with liquidy highlighters because all the ones I've tried previous to this one would just dry down really, really quickly or pick up whatever is underneath, and they were always really finicky. And I hate feeling panicked when I'm doing my makeup because when I'm doing my makeup, I want it to be very peaceful. It's just kind of like a therapeutic experience for me. So I always go for products that work, and this one just works. This one as well works amazingly with a brush, finger, or sponge. Next up, I wanted to talk about the Milani Strobe Light. This one is like a drugstore version of the Anastasia Perla, which is amazing, and they have a bunch of different shades. Milani has got to be one of my favorite drugstore brands. They are just so good. This is the shade 02 Day Glow. This one is a little bit more gold, but it does have like the same kind of vibe as the Anastasia one. I just wanted to include it because it's basically a dupe, so I equally love it. I just wanted to throw this one in here just in case if you were looking for a really good drugstore highlighter. These are like the exact same. And the last one in the liquid category is the DR Backstage Universal Face and Body. What is this even called? Sorry, I think I messed that up. DR Backstage Face and Body Glow in the shade 001 Universal. This one really quickly ran up to one of my favorite highlighters of all time. This is just such a beautiful formula. It's very thin and watery, which I love, so it doesn't enhance any texture. I like this one with a finger or a brush. I wouldn't recommend a sponge because it is such a thin consistency. I find that the brush really soaks it up and you waste a little bit of product. I mean, it's still doable with a sponge. You just get a really sheer amount, but I feel like you just waste a little bit much for my personal preference. This is a really lovely highlighter as well. It dries down like a powder once again. It doesn't have any base pigment to it. It's very see-through, so I think that's why it's such a beautiful universal shade. I'm not sure how it looks on the deepest skin tones, but I'm sure that this one suits more light to medium. The only downside to it, it does have a little bit of an intense scent, but it does dissipate once it dries down. It just kind of go away, which is really nice. I'm quite sensitive to scents that linger. If they linger, I can't have them because I immediately get a headache and I get moody, and I can't have that. This is so beautiful, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So now I want to get into my 3 favorite powder highlight formulas. I don't have that many. I feel like I'm super picky with powder highlights. What I look for is something that looks like a cream, not something that doesn't have detectable particles or like glitter particles or anything. I really like the pearly ones more, and something that makes my skin still look kind of hydrated but without feeling emollient or anything. So the first one I want to talk about is this one from MAC, and this is the Postmodernist Peach. This is from their newest collection. I completely fell in love with this because it is such a nice wearable everyday highlight. I thought it was going to be super intense, but it really isn't, and I really love the shade of it because it has peach tones as well as golden tones, but here it is. It's just very, very subtle. You can barely see it on my hand here. It's right this little strip right here. It has such a stunning glow, and it's very see-through, and it just catches the light in such a beautiful, stunning way. It just makes you look like you have like a summer glow to your skin if you just go out and walk in the hot day. So I guess it just looks a little sweaty, but in the best way possible. It's a very, very flattering highlight, and I love it so much. Looking at the pattern that they pressed into the pan is just so satisfying. Oh my goodness, it just is so fun. It reminds me of those videos when they are milling the lipsticks, like when Bite Beauty does those milling Mondays. It kind of gives me that texture, and I love watching those videos. They're so satisfying and relaxing to watch. But anyways, love this so much. The next one probably comes to no surprise to you, and this is the Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Amnesia. This is my favorite shade. This is a really close dupe to the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter if you completely fell in love with that one but can't get it anymore. And also, these come in so many different shades, great for any skin tones, and they also have some really fun ones as well. I prefer this one way more than the Anastasia Amrezy one. I got rid of my Amrezy one when this one came into my life. just because it truly makes you look like you have glass skin, and that is so rare to me for powder highlights. It's very beautiful and buildable. Obviously this works best with a brush. My favorite brush for highlight is the Nabla highlighting brush. There's just some magic in this formula and I absolutely love it. Here is the swatch right here. The shade is a lot more gold and it has just no particles in it. Like, it just looks like a glossy sheen, but it's dry. But if you are really into the look of a cream highlighter, but you don't like the feeling or the experience or applying them or whatever, if you struggle with any of that, this is the one I would recommend to you the most. And the last one I wanted to recommend to you is from the Natasha Denona Tan Palette. This is one of my all-time favorite products in my collection. You get 3 highlighting shades in here and this bronzer slash blush. I love these 2 right here. This is probably one of the most stunning highlighting formulas ever, and I have been using this so much. Like when I'm not filming or whatever, I usually gravitate to this highlighting formula if I want a powder. I use it so much and I hardly have a dent in there. It has such a unique texture. You don't have to put any pressure on it whatsoever and you get so much payoff out of it. So this is a product I see myself having for years and years and years, which is really good because this is quite expensive. And I think this is quite nice as well because you can get a lot of different looks out of this little palette. I'm super picky with face palettes, but I love this one because I can pull off every shade in here. I don't like the face palettes for personal use if they have shades that aren't going to suit my tones or anything like that, but this one is just very versatile and universal. This powder does not enhance any texture at all. It just does the same kind of thing as the Nabla one and it just makes you look like you have glass skin. But with that, that's all my favorite highlighters. I feel like I talked a million miles a second in this video. I think I was very excited and passionate to be sharing with you my favorite highlighters. But that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It would help me out so much. I'll make sure to link all of the products I mentioned in today's video in the description down below, as well as the things I'm wearing on my face right now. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.